Premier is here. Premier Heating and Air is offering rebates starting at $1,000 with the purchase of a new heating and air system. Upgrade your system before the summer heat is here. Premier Heating and Air offering free Wi-Fi thermostats included with the purchase of a heating and air system. And now pay just $89 for a system checkup. Experience the Premier difference today. Or log on to dublin.premierishere.com. Premier Heating and Air, a locally owned and operated company.
Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now.
Hello, welcome to TV 35 Dublin. This is our segment of live entertainment right here in Central Georgia, and boy, do we have a treat for you today. My special guest today is Mr. Diedrich Guyton. How are you, Diedrich, today?
Wonderful. How are you?
Great, great. We're excited to tell everybody about an upcoming event that you have planned here for Dublin, Georgia.
That's right.
But first, we want to dig into who you are. Okay, first we want to find out more about who you are.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about how you got started in Dublin. Give us an idea of your history, even your family's history, and how you started with your interest in music and how it branched off to college and brought you right back to Dublin.
Oh, nice. Well, as you said, I'm Diedrich Guyton. I'm one of the many Guytons from Dexter, Georgia. So my father's family is from Dexter. There are many, many Guytons on that side of the family. My musical influence started when I was about 8 years old. My mom always tells people the story that when I was a young kid, that I used to walk around the coffee table and emulate playing the piano.
Okay.
So she always knew, even before I did, that I would be a musician. And from that, she put me in piano lessons when I was 8.
Okay. Who'd you study with?
My first piano teacher was Patricia Walton.
Yes.
I also studied with Reverend Clarence Jackson, who taught me how to read music.
Okay.
That gave me the love for chorale style, classical music later on in life, in college, and now to arranging spirituals and hymns, that kind of thing.
Okay. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Mrs. Patricia Walton was a choir director for many churches, including my church at Buckeye Baptist Church. So I sang under her as a high school student.
Yeah.
And Reverend Clarence Jackson was a band director?
I think so. At one point, I know he was a church musician.
Right.
At one point.
I believe he was a band director as well.
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
he studied music, had a music degree, was able to teach you how to read.
That's correct.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, so what else did you do? What kind of got you moving forward with your whole idea from working here in Dublin with musicians?
Yes.
On to high school?
Yes. So after 8, took piano for a few years and then joined the band as a 5th grade student, trombone player. From there, I feel like music just flourished for me. It made me know who I was as a person. It gave me the kind of creativity that children don't always have.
Right.
So I'm always grateful for those early experiences. I attended Dublin City Schools.
Okay.
Graduated from Dublin High School. I was drum major my junior and senior year for Dublin High School.
Wow.
Under Mr. Kerry Rittenhouse, who was another big influence for me.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow,
yeah.
that is great to know. And, you know, a lot of musicians who grew up here in Dublin, once they left here, they branched off and did a few things. Tell us now what happened when you left Dublin High School as a senior?
So I always tell the story that I became a little rebellious about music when I became an older teenager. So 17, 18, I felt like I had done so much with music, so much with churches that I want a break, like we often do, you know, from the things that we do all of the time. So when I went to college, I left Dublin and went to Washington, D.C. to attend Howard University.
Wow.
And I did not go as a music major. I thought for a small time that I wanted to enter the fashion world.
Okay.
So I was accepted as a fashion major.
Okay.
Well, that lasted all of about a year.
Okay.
So after about a year, I switched majors and became a performance major again.
Okay.
So studying it professionally and as a college student kind of got me on the path that I'm on today as a professional musician.
Now, as I know it, whenever you go to college, you have to audition to get into the School of Music.
right.
So how did that come about? How did you go from fashion major to getting into the music school?
So yeah, I had to show a little bit of my pedigree as a pianist,
Right.
as a vocalist.
Right.
I had to read music for my teacher, for my professors,
Right.
my music teacher who would eventually become my vocal coach.
Okay.
I had to do some things for her, and it just, from there, I stayed at Howard a few years, and life became life, and I
Okay.
didn't finish at Howard. I didn't
Okay.
finish my bachelor's degree at Howard. I came back home to work.
Okay.
So I immediately started working as a church musician again,
Okay.
and that's when Vision of Praise came about.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it was one of those things where you wanted to continue what you learned in college and
right.
just kind of give it to the community.
That's right.
You know, by
That's right.
giving those singers around you who were talented enough to take
Mm-hmm.
what you were arranging, I would
That's right.
say, and
That's
put
right.
it into a life experience of vocal music.
And not only arranging, but there were so many, if you recall, gospel music back then, the 80s, 90s, early 2000s was so prevalent
Yes,
that I
that's
wanted
right.
to pay homage to those artists and
Right.
those musicians. So we did, in the early days of Vision of Praise, we did a lot. Kirk Franklin,
Oh,
Richard
yes.
Smallwood, Chicago Mass Choir,
John P.
things.
Key.
Yes,
Okay.
all those people.
I can
all those
imagine.
people.
Well,
Yeah.
let me say this. One thing that you did for Dublin was you got the younger singers involved in what you would consider contemporary church music.
Mm.
Now, we've all been exposed to traditional church music, but like you said, once we got out of our
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
teens into our 20s,
Yeah.
that contemporary music just kind of started to
Yeah.
play all around us, and we wanted to be a part of that.
That's right. There was like a change at the beginning of the century. I think that we wanted something different than what we had done as small children in church.
That's right. That's right.
So that's where the research part came from. That's
Okay.
where the doing something new in the community came from. You know,
Okay.
there weren't a lot of community choirs in this area.
Right.
Back
Oh, great.
then. A few,
Okay.
but not a lot.
Okay.
Not a lot.
That's
yeah.
exciting.
Mhm.
Exciting for
Yes.
those who were going to church. Now the young kids could enjoy the music
That's
more
right.
because they related to like you said, the new genre
That's
of
right.
contemporary gospel.
That's right.
Now, if I recall this, and I was an educator during those years,
Mm-hmm.
or getting out of college myself and becoming an educator, a lot of that music was not on sheet music.
Oh no.
So how did you make it come alive for this group?
Oh, I'm going to show my age right now. We used to take the CDs with the lyrics in them
Okay.
and learn that way
Okay.
when they were provided. They weren't always
That's right,
provided.
they weren't
so
always there.
We used to back that CD up, rewind it, and listen and listen and listen until we had what we thought were the correct words.
Okay.
And a lot of times that's what we sung until recently, where you can find all of this information free on the internet.
Right.
And we're still learning that, oh, that's not what we used to say back then.
That's true.
What we used to say back then.
But you made it make
that's how it was.
sense.
Yes.
And it still
yes.
fit the scripture and
That's
fit
right.
the spiritual environment
Always,
you're in.
always.
Well, what about the music? Because a lot of times you couldn't find sheet music that had the chords.
That's right. Luckily, I was able to learn to pick up by ear early on. So I had that with me from about age 10 when I began playing in churches. And I kept that through college.
Right.
You know, being a member of the Howard Gospel Choir, we relied on our ear a lot.
Okay.
A lot. So that helped me also as a musician when I came back to Dublin and started to do it full time.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the chords are it's just all repetitive whenever it comes to a lot
Back
of the
then,
songs.
especially.
Exactly, back then,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Okay, because you know what? A lot of people think this is an easy job.
No, it's
But when
not.
you're taking songs and you're trying to make them fit a group, you've got to make the songs work for the group that you're
Absolutely.
working with.
And
So-
especially if you're trying to do something new, something that hasn't been done, something that you haven't heard on radio and television before. So that's what I think was the initial attraction of VOP.
Okay.
We wanted to be different than all the choirs that we had seen in our community, all the choirs that we had seen on TV. We loved them.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, we loved them, but we wanted to be something new, something emerging, something
Okay.
a little bit more exciting.
Okay, so are you telling me that you guys have your own original music?
We do have some original music. I have begun recently again adapting and arranging some spirituals, some hymns specifically for us. We have one piece that is complete, that is already copyrighted and adapted for Vision of Praise.
Okay.
And at our July 26th concert, we'll have another piece that we'll perform for the first time.
Okay.
That will be adapted just for Vision of Praise.
Wow, that is wonderful news. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Because everybody
Thank
who
you.
plays, they don't write.
No.
So
no.
now you are a writer and performer, and you're
Yes.
arranging,
Yes.
producing, and
More of an arranger. I give credits to the writers, to the lyric writers, because that's not really my strength.
Okay.
But more of an arranger, composer.
okay, that's important. It's a very
Yes.
important role.
Yes.
Okay, so
yes.
now when we come to this show, July 26th, tell us how to get there. Tell us what should we expect.
So our concert will be at Green Grove, out on 441. It's free, no charge, no admission. We'll open the concert. We have guests, Clarinda Brown, and in the moment, Minister Terrence Thomas, and also Jordan Stream Baptist Church Mass Choir. They'll
Okay.
join us.
Okay.
So those will be our guests those days.
And it
we just
starts-
want everybody to come and enjoy, and praise and worship with us starts at 4 p.m.
At 4 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Doors will open at what time?
So we'll say 3.
3 o'clock. Okay.
Yes.
Because some people get there early. They want a
Yes.
good seat. They want to
Yes.
sit up front. They want to make sure they can get in.
And it's a good
And this is
idea
the
to do
summertime.
so. Yes,
So-
yes. And 350 people capacity, so it's a good idea to do that.
Yes,
in the sanctuary.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. I believe Mrs. Clara is proud of you.
I hope she is.
I hope your whole family's proud of you.
I hope
you know,
so.
because this is a huge role. Just being a music person, period. People don't understand. You have to rise for all occasions.
Oh, yes,
You know,
definitely,
sad
definitely.
or happy.
Definitely.
Doesn't matter. You
Yes,
know, this is your
yes.
calling.
Absolutely. And they depend on, they depend on musicians to lift the weight in the room.
That's right.
A lot of the time, whether it's secular or gospel or whatever the situation or the performance is or
That's
the
right.
opportunity is.
That's
So
right.
a lot of times, you're right, they don't realize the weight.
They don't realize the way.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, even when you're not feeling up to it, you just have to be there
Absolutely.
and get it done.
That's right.
And I have
That's right.
noticed too that a lot of times you'll go into an atmosphere and you're thinking that you're going to hear a great musical performance, and you're not always listening to a person who's very prepared. Tell us how you get prepared.
Oh gosh, I really, I turn into a different person. I'm a little bit of a music zilla,
Okay,
if you will.
okay.
Like I shut everything off when I'm learning music
Mm-hmm.
or composing. No television, no cell, and I just get into my quiet moment, quiet circle, quiet time, and just let the music flow. So that's where I get dynamics for the group. What are we going to do with the song that maybe people are not expecting? Or what kind of dynamics can I add that aren't already there, or that Vision of Praise hasn't even done in a song or a lyric before?
Okay.
So
And you know your
yes.
group.
Yes.
So once you know your group, you know what will make them
That's right.
sound at their best level of,
That's
of a
right.
performance.
Well, one thing about Vision of Praise, they always surprise me.
Oh,
They
that's-
continue to surprise me. So I think I know their height,
Okay.
and they're always elevating.
Oh.
Especially in this iteration. We started probably about 3 years ago, I would say now,
Okay.
after a 15-year hiatus.
Okay.
So even in that, we have people who are singing the same vocal part.
Right.
We're able to do some of the same keys in some songs, which is really unusual for singers as we age.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow. Sounds like you have some real good talent, though.
Oh, definitely.
Good.
Definitely.
We look forward to meeting them.
Yes,
Yeah.
good.
We'll be right back with more with Deidre Guyton and Vision of Praise.
Hi, I'm Lily Rose Barton, and I have been coming to Bass for years. I had to come for knee replacement recovery. I had a bad back, I came for that. But this last stint was because I had SI joint fusion, and my right leg was very weak. Muscles were weak, but they have really built me up, and it has really helped. All of them, Erica, Whitney, Chuck, they all are just so good at encouraging you to do what you can, but don't overdo. Take it slow and easy. And taking it slow and easy has got me where I am today. From the front door to the back, they're all just very, very nice and helpful. And I appreciate all of them so much. I just can't express with words what they mean to me. But I do hope they know that I appreciate everything they've done for me through the years, not just since January when I started with this one. Chuck took me in. I brought the doctor's report from that. He put it in the computer. He studied what needed to be done. He instructed me how to do it. But he was right there every step of the way that first day. Not only do I do this, but when I get in the anti-gravity walking, at first, yes, I was scared because I hadn't been able to walk that much, but I have come a long ways. So it's just been such a blessing to have Bass to be able to come and do this therapy with them. And they're just so good to all their patients, but I feel like they've been especially good to me, and I do appreciate them. I would highly suggest that if your doctor were to suggest therapy for you, please tell them Bass in Dublin, Georgia is where you want to go. Any of them here will just be happy to work with you and get you back on your feet and able to do things that you were not able to do before coming to Bass therapy.
If you're wondering when the best time to buy a new car is, it's right now. Hi, this is Don Carswell at Dublin Nissan in Dublin, Georgia, and the best day to buy a new car is every day. So whether you're looking at the all-new Murano, a brand new 2025 Versa, or you're looking for a great deal on a Z, we have all the choices here at Dublin Nissan every day. And now's the time to take advantage of all new discounted pricing on new Rogues and Pathfinders. We sell cars well every day at Dublin Nissan.
We're back here at TV 35 talking to Mr. Diedrich Guyton, someone who's very talented here in the Dublin community. But we're going to talk about how he expanded his experiences from Howard University and moved on to other educational institutions. So Diedrich, kind of give us a highlight of what you did after you left Howard University.
Yeah, so after I left Howard, came back, started Vision of Praise, continued to work as a pianist, church pianist, minister of music. Many years later, when I was 40, actually, I decided to go back to school at the height of the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
And so I completed my bachelor's degree with Liberty University in worship studies.
Okay.
And after that, recently, I've completed graduate studies and achieved my Master of Arts in Music Education with Liberty.
Wow, so you have a master's of music now. So guess what? You are giving people hope to, even if you have to quit, you don't have to stop.
40 years old, guys. It's never too late.
Right, never too late. So now you have a music master's degree, a bachelor's degree. What are you doing with all that experience?
So right now I am working as a minister of music. I'm at Living Faith Baptist Church, my church, where Pastor Jamie Paulk is our pastor.
Okay.
I also am a music intervention therapist with Community Mental Health, which is part of the Community Service Board of Middle Georgia.
Now, how do you see that music helps the mentally challenged? How do you?
It's just a universal language, and I know we say that all the time, but where words and prescriptions may not reach, everyone recognizes and responds to music.
That's right.
In a different way.
Wow, what
So
a
I love
unique
what I do.
career you have.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
great, wonderful.
Yes.
Have you seen patients who were listening to you perform music go on to be musicians themselves?
I don't know about being professional musicians in the sense that I am, but definitely I've had the chance to work with some students who have realized their own potential because of what we're able to do together.
Okay, that's great. Do you keep in touch with a lot of them?
I do. Well, it's kind of a new development here in Georgia, so I work with most of them on a regular basis still.
Okay.
But yes, there is that outlet that we can keep in touch and see where they are once they leave the program and things like that.
Well, I know they'll never forget you.
I hope
when
not.
they do move on, they won't.
I hope that's in a good way.
yeah, they won't because of what you're bringing to them for
Yes.
healing and inspiration.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more with Diedrich Guyton and Vision of Praise.
Allen's Heating and Cooling is your licensed Amana equipment dealer. Trust Allen's Heating and Cooling to install and service your heating and cooling unit. Allen services all brands, and with the purchase of a new Amana, offers a lifetime compressor warranty. Call Sean Clark or any of his friendly staff at Allen's Heating and Cooling, your Amana dealer. Amana lasts and lasts and lasts.
Hi, we're Dion and Gary Lanton. We're the new owners of Luann's Biscuits and Burgers. We want to invite you guys to come out to our newly renovated dining room. We're open 5:15 a.m. through 10:45 a.m. Monday through Saturday for breakfast. We now offer delivery and pickup online at our website, luannbiscuits.com. You can go through our menu, order anything that we have on the menu right there, have it delivered to you where you are. We're at 1010 Telfair Street. So come on out, the coffee is hot, best in Lawrence County, the biscuits are fresh, the doors are open. We invite you to come back to Luann's.
Thanks for joining us here at TV 35 Dublin. We have some wonderful talent here that we're interviewing. They're called Vision of Praise, and they're under the direction of Diedrich Guyton. But we have some wonderful singers here who we'd like to introduce you to. We have Miss
Anita Hill.
Anita Hill and
Tracy McAfee.
Miss Tracy McAfee. So now you ladies have been with Vision of Praise for how long?
20
plus years.
Yeah, 20 plus
20
years.
plus
yeah.
years. Okay. Tell us how the group started out.
I came, my son, who's deceased, Franklin McLeod, came before I did. So when he came to one of the first initial rehearsals, he was so excited, and he came home and told me about it. And I said, I want to join. And I said, ask Didi if I could join. And Mama, he said, come on. So that's how I got in.
Oh, okay. So you got the inspiration from your son. Okay, what about you?
I had a friend, Miss Nairobi Mills, and I felt like Mary Agnes on Color Purple.
Okay.
Like I want to sing, you know.
Okay.
So arrangements were made for me to meet with Mr. Diedrich Guyton, and I auditioned.
Okay, you auditioned.
We all did.
We all
Auditioned.
We all
auditioned
did.
in order to be able to
Okay.
sing.
What was he looking for?
Range, and if you're going to keep your notes.
Okay. Now let me tell you why I asked that. Because some people think they can just join a group just because they're available and dedicated. But the talent has to be there. Some skills have to be in place.
Yes, ma'am.
Has to be some vocal talent and skills that he can work with. Is that correct?
That's
Yes,
correct.
ma'am. That's
Okay.
correct.
So how are you ladies now experiencing work under Mr. Guyton? So he's arranging the songs. What's your role?
To listen and learn.
Okay. So you have to go home and study and.
Not as much, because now technology has evolved since we first started. So our method now is whatever material we're learning, he'll pick out a song, go to YouTube, send it to our group chat. If lyrics are involved, he'll put all of that in the chat.
Okay.
And he'll send a text out, group chat, I need y'all to learn this. We're working on this piece for the upcoming concert, yada, yada. And then at rehearsal, we go over it.
Okay.
Wherever we fall short, he puts us back into our proper places.
Okay. So now, if I'm understanding correctly, he's the one who reads the music and arranges the songs. You just have to go home and learn what you hear.
Homework, that's it.
Yeah, learn what you hear. Okay. Homework. I hear
Homework.
you. I was going to say, because sometimes people just think, okay, well, I'll just get it once I get to rehearsal.
Oh, no.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. You got to really put in
Yes,
your
ma'am.
own
You have to
time.
put in your time and your
And he
work.
can tell.
Okay.
He could tell, who learned what. But like he said, he has no problems with us because this one, after the hiatus, she already been saying, when the LP gonna get back together? I'm ready to sing. I want to get back together. So, after much prayer and consideration, here we are.
Okay. And I think, you know what, if you're dedicated and you know that you really want to do this, you don't have to be told to rehearse. You will do your part because you want it to be a great group and a great performance and a great experience. Is that correct?
Yes,
You're doing it
ma'am.
for yourself because you get out of it what you put in it. Is that
That's
correct?
right. That's
okay.
correct.
And if everybody offers that, then hey, it's a wonderful, great opportunity for everybody to just experience a new level of I don't know, euphoria, I guess, you know.
Yes, ma'am. But Dietrich holds us to a standard.
That
Oh, that's wonderful. I wanted to
So,
also hear that, you know, that
yes.
he holds you to a
He
standard.
Very
holds
much
us to a
so.
standard, and we know when we reach that point.
Okay.
And we also know that when we didn't, but
right,
he
we fall
knows.
short. Yeah,
But he knows that we could. We will deliver.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
we're a little bit more structured now in our older ages
Right.
than we were when we first got with them, because we were. And then there's a lot of us, a few of us that aren't here, but we were talkative.
Okay.
We were somewhat still mischievous, talking about what happened, and
Right.
you know, and then we had to see the firm side of him.
Okay.
We don't like that side.
I hear you.
We don't like
I
that
hear you.
side.
But I understand where he's coming from, because guess what? Time is wasted when you're
Right.
not putting
Right.
forth
Right.
the excellence of what you need to get done. And also, if you take it serious enough, he can bring another level of the song's performance out of you. You just need to do your part well so that he can get to that point where he can do
Exactly.
some more of expressing and conducting.
Exactly.
So I understand where he is, and being stern and fair.
That was then. This is now we good.
Okay, you're good now because you feel a lot more responsible for your own part.
Oh, yes.
That's great to know.
I do remember we had a concert at First Day B, and he arranged this song, and we sung it 5-part harmony.
Okay.
And my mom, she usually don't get out to see us perform or to minister.
Okay, right.
And she did that day. She was like, "Oh my God!" She said she felt like she was at a $1 million concert.
All right.
She said it was
And that's
just
what it's all
everything was
about.
on point.
That's wonderful. Because you
Yes,
don't know
ma'am.
who's listening. You don't know who you're ministering to.
Right.
And you don't know who's getting something out of it that they need at the time.
Yes.
So to do your job and be excellent for the Lord is what it's all
Mm-hmm.
about. That's great to know.
And we also love the camaraderie
Oh,
with
okay.
us.
We love. We're family.
We love to eat. We love fellowshipping.
Yes.
Back then, we didn't exemplify our culinary skills. So now
Okay.
we love, we love to be together now. So and it means much more now
It means a lot.
than then, because back then we weren't as, I could say, stable.
I hear you.
It wasn't a bad thing. It was just that we all had
to
different
do,
lives, things
different
to
now.
do. But now we're a little more, I could say a lot more settled.
Okay.
And it's like we were looking for something to do again. We wanted to, and she just kept on. She just kept on. She just kept on. And so, like I said, here we are.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And it's time now.
It's
You
time.
know, it's time. Because those who are involved now also have the time to come right back
right.
and
Yes.
join in with you.
A
Such
few of us
great-
won't be able to. Some unfortunate things have happened, and that's life. Life gonna be life. I heard Pastor Mike Jr. said, "Life gonna be life."
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And so that's happened, but we're gonna continue to lift her up in prayer.
Okay.
One
Well,
of
if
our
I know
family
the
members.
God that we all serve,
The fur.
someone will come in and step in and play the roles that you need because they're ready at this point
Yes.
to be a part of what you're doing. All you have to do is display it at the highest level, and they're going to say, I want to be a part of that because they're doing something great for the Lord. And
Yes, ma'am.
that's what I want to be. So
Yes.
I'm very excited for you all. I look forward to hearing you in July.
Now we're praying that you're gonna be back so you can MC.
That's right. I'd love to be back to just
Okay.
find out what this group is all about, and yes, to be a part of listening to you and listening to your guests. So this is all very, very interesting for me
Okay.
to get back and kind of indulge in what
Okay.
the community has to offer. We hope you've been enjoying Vision of Praise. We'll be right back after this message.
At Bank of Dudley, we're your community, your bank. And with 7 branches to serve you, there's a Bank of Dudley close by. And there's a familiar face close by. The same familiar faces that you've seen for many years. The same people that you've grown to trust. Because that's what community banking is all about. 7 branches, local people, local decisions, local banking. That's the Bank of Dudley, serving our community since 1905.
We're back here at TV 35 with Vision of Praise, and we have a very unique and wonderful young lady here who has been with this group for quite a while. She has quite a history with Vision of Praise. Let's give them your name, young lady.
Gwen.
Okay.
Gwen Hall.
Miss Gwen Hall, welcome.
Thank
welcome
you.
to TV 35.
Thank you.
Now tell us your experience with Vision of Praise.
Well, I think I was around 25 when I actually joined. Can't quite remember how I heard about the group, but I, as a child, sang with a workshop choir. It was Voices of Joy, youth workshop choir, and I just missed singing in choir.
Okay.
And like I said, it's like a moment in time. Like, I have no idea, like, how it all came together, but I was probably around the age 25.
Okay.
And it gave you that sense of community.
Right, I can understand that.
Yeah, and that's what I was definitely looking for.
Okay, a lot of like-minded individuals who wanted to sing and do what you wanted to do. That had to make
Absolutely.
you feel very good, like you really, really were missing this piece of puzzle in your life.
Yes,
Is that
ma'am.
correct? All right, are you from Dublin?
I am Dudley, Georgia.
Okay.
I always say Dublin. Nobody knows where Dudley is.
Okay.
But born and raised there.
Okay.
Been there all my life. I guess I'd have to thank my mom for the musical side of me. She played piano at Sandy Ford Baptist Church.
Yes.
That was her home church.
Okay.
My grandfather even pastored that church for a
Okay.
while, my mom's dad. But yeah, my musical side comes from my mama.
Okay, all right. So you came from a musical family.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now how did you work with Mr. Guyton in getting involved with the group? Tell me how you became so involved that you stuck with it this long.
It was just, singing is something I just love to do. Not that I'm that great at it, but I just love worship. And I would have to say that we are better now. It's like a fine wine. We aged and we are better now than we were then. So we just keep getting better, you know.
Right.
When we, take breaks and come back, we sound better than we did when we were in our 20s.
So let's take us back in time now. Tell us, how was it when you first started and how is it now?
Well, when we first started, I personally had trouble holding my note. It was like, oh Lord, I'd be so nervous. I'm like, I'm not going to remember that line he just gave me to sing, but here we go, But now it's easier. It just flows. We do record literally on our phones.
Right.
And we can listen, in our car during the week. And by the time we come to rehearsal, we just fall right in.
Okay. So back then you just had to remember your part.
Yes.
And have a good memory of what you heard. And then now you have a way to record it.
Yes.
And keep that recording with you and go over and over
Absolutely.
until you really actually learn it.
Absolutely.
Okay. So how have you been able to raise a family and continue with this type of dedication in this group?
Once again, community. Every rehearsal, we all brought our kids.
Okay.
We looked like, I know Gigi was like, Lord, we got the whole house, because it would be, we'd have about 5 kids sitting on the back row.
Okay.
And it just, I mean, it takes me back thinking about, those kids having to sit there while we rehearsed. But we managed. We did what we had to do.
Right, I hear you. Okay. Well, I can understand that. If you had something that you wanted to be involved in, the kids had to be with you because you were the adult in the house. They had to be where you were. And guess what? It taught them also dedication.
Yeah, and the unique thing is most of us were single moms.
Okay.
And we all raised our kids coming up through this choir.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful. That's wonderful to know. So what do you do for a living now? I know you're still working with the group singing, but what do you do for a living?
I'm an X-ray technologist. I work for Ortho Georgia in Warner Robins, Georgia.
Okay.
And I've been doing that for 25 years.
Okay. All righty. So you've remained in Dublin and
I've remained here, whether I wanted to or not.
Okay. All righty.
God's will. I guess he said, you're going to be right here. And so my boys are 26 and 27 and 28.
Okay.
So I've been singing for the majority of those years.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's great dedication. And as a director and an arranger of the music, that's who he needs. He needs someone like you who's dedicated.
Absolutely.
Who is responsible and willing to put in the time and the
Absolutely.
work to do what you're doing. Great. So now that Vision of Praise is back together, what would you like to see happen with this group at this point? This is the second time around.
I think we're going to be bigger and better than we ever have. Like Anita was saying, we are more committed now.
Okay.
We're more serious. We're more stable. And I think what we're going to do in the future, it's beyond what we could ever ask or think for the future of the group.
If a person who were watching today wanted to join this group, what would you tell them they need to do?
Contact my director, Deidre Guyton.
Okay.
We have Facebook, so anybody, who wants to join can contact any of us and we'll get them in touch with him.
Okay, all right. And they need to be dedicated, able to sing.
Absolutely.
Willing to put in the time and the work.
Yes, because it is work. It's it's not just show up to a rehearsal. And it takes dedication to come to rehearsal. We're all, in our 40s, 50s, and we have jobs.
Right,
and,
so have jobs, that's right.
And families, and you have to make the sacrifice to be where you need to be.
Right, okay. So Ms. Hall, tell us, how did you come to join VOP initially?
So initially, I was singing on a praise team with my home church out in Dudley, Georgia, New Vision Missionary Baptist Church. And Deidre came as a keyboardist.
Okay.
He came on as a keyboardist at my church, and his choir, VOP, was invited to sing.
Okay.
And that's where I first heard them sing.
So they were already organized when
Already
you
organized.
Part of them. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And they must have done something that really inspired you.
Oh yeah, just the harmony. I love harmony. I love choir music. We actually were praise team and praise team only at that time.
Okay.
That was when praise teams were, everybody wanted a praise team.
Right.
But I've been in church all my life since I was born into the world, and choir music is my start.
Okay.
That's my love for choir music.
Okay. Now, being that he's someone who's skilled and writes music, were you afraid to jump in because he seemed to be doing something a little above your head, or you felt like you could fit in?
I wasn't afraid because of the fact that as a child, I had been in choir, like summer choirs, youth workshops, and I was just excited to get back in.
Okay. All right. So yes, I can see how the youth workshops kind of help prepare you for music beyond just an average church choir. You were able to do songs that were a little more elevated in experience and skills. I can understand that now. So yeah, so if you had that kind of experience, I can see how fitting in with Deidre's group would be a great experience for you. Okay. Well, I thank you so much for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
Okay. And this wonderful performance is coming up what date? July the
26th.
Okay, at the
At Green Grove Missionary Baptist Church.
Okay, at 4 p.m.
Yes, at 4
Free
p.m.
to the public.
It is.
Free to the public. Come out and see these wonderful singers perform. It's been a pleasure interviewing them. I thank you so much for tuning in today. Again, my name is Shanita Hunt. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.